So the third thing what Madhvit want to say is the space. From here the mind move that to the space. The space that you need to give is the possibility, not identity. Most of the parents give them a space for identity to form. Like you are very angry kid, you are like your dad, you are like your mom. They keep defining, I know my child, he's always like me because I was like that, he's like that. Don't define his space. We don't know who he is and he himself doesn't know who he is. That is the space of a child because they are spontaneous. How can you define a spontaneity in a bracket? You are like that because you have patterns, you're conditioned. But a child need not be like that, need not be related to anything you do. They can be creative, they can be extraordinary, learning something new which you never learned. Give them the possibility. Of course, you have a skill, you can always pass it on and they can say, I got it from my mommy and I have a beautiful skill. That is fine. But don't define in the sense that I know my child, even I can't do that and he can't do in the negative sense. It's very important to understand one basic thing. See, for us, responsibility is thinking we have to take care of their food, their body. No, we have to take care of their inner space. As a child, every child, very important concept is they are life positive. As an adult, we are life negative. 70% of our conversation, you can try today, any conversation that you speak, the most of the part will be no, not, don't, shouldn't. Again I repeat, the child's space is a life positive space. Anything you shout at a 3-year-old, they will immediately come back and say, Mommy, I want this, Mommy, I want that. They are life positive. They cannot give up on themselves at all. Have you ever seen a 3-year-old depressed? Never. Because they are life positive. How much ever you scold, even in the road who we see very poor people, even they are life positive. By nature, they are like nature. When they are 3 years, 5 years, they are life positive. Till 10 years, we are life negative constantly. Oh, this will happen, that will happen. I don't know this, I don't know that. Will he be able to manage this? Will he be able to manage that? Constantly, we are in life negative. We don't say, everything is my source. I create. When I become positive, everything has to be positive in my space. I cannot have anything negative. That's all. The child defines like this only. I want to be happy. In my space of happiness, nothing negative will happen. So I'll start. If something happens also, that is also good. I will be positive. That's the space they live constantly, again and again they declare life is positive. Life is good. I got hurt, it's okay. It is paining, but it's okay, I am fine. I can go play. If they want, they will do anything, even if you put them on a surgery table. They'll just get up and go and do anything. That's the amount of life positive they are. And we, like even small headache, we'll sit back and sit and say, oh, I want a coffee, otherwise I can't get up. This is a problem, that is a problem. That's why they never have a headache. Have you ever heard a child having a headache? Then they can't be a child. There is no such thing as headache at all. Because they don't use their head and all. They use only their heart. We use our head, so we get headache. They use their heart only. Constantly they work out of their heart. Come on, this, that. They constantly on spontaneous creativity. So they don't use their head. They don't have that space at all. So don't create any identity. Yes, man, they keep on using don't because that's the adult language. It's so funny that, no, if you say to somebody, don't sit down, what can you visualize? We can only visualize somebody sitting down. But even our brain doesn't understand negative. For even adults, even the brain doesn't understand negativity. But we understand negativity so well. I don't know where we understand also. Even the brain part of it cannot visualize anything negative. That's the only thing in the world we cannot visualize. That the cannot, shouldn't, must not, we cannot visualize. Don't sit, don't throw, don't go here. How can you visualize that? You cannot visualize that. But we tell the children all the time. They keep wondering what's wrong with the mommy. She asked me to jump, and if I jump, she is saying don't jump. They actually jump more because they don't visualize, they don't understand. From that, the root problem starts, and then constantly our conversation has to have a not and don't. And then they are so confused. They don't want to form identity, but we constantly reiterate their identity. This is your identity. That is your identity. This is how you behave. You know my son behaves like this. You know my daughter behaves like this. What happens? Oh, they think Mama is saying I have to behave like this. Mama is saying this is what I should do. That's what they understand. We define their space. They don't have any idea about space. They live as a happening, as a moment. Such beautiful beings on planet Earth is children. That's why children and God, they say children are God, because they also don't have thoughts, identity, attitude, nothing till 10 years. They just are there, happening on planet Earth. How beautiful they are. That's why you feel like going and grabbing them, hugging them and all. You love them because their inner space is so pure. The purity comes because they don't have judgment, they don't have condition in their brain, nothing, no chattering, no inner space chattering. If you have inner space chattering, you're conditioned. Because you're conditioned with the past to do an analogy, comparison, all that happens because you're conditioned your brain to start working like that. If you get the information, you don't take it as information. You have to do it as a confirmation. You have to constantly go back and think, is this valid? Oh yes, then tick. But for a child, any information is a valid information. That's why it's easy to corrupt a child, like a small plant. Any cow can just come and eat the plant. So it's very careful. We have to grow them till they are little bit big and matured. That's why till 14 years is one level and till 21 is the next level. You have to make sure their understanding is only right understanding, only of the purpose of life. The purpose of life for every species which has come to planet Earth is enlightenment, the highest space. So are they expanding to that space? Are they taking one step to that space? If they are not taking to that space, they are shrinking. They only need to work on themselves. There is no outer world change. There is nothing that they can go change in outer world which is going to make it any better for them. That's why they don't have much of completion. They just have information and they share it and they just drop it. After 2 days, they don't know. In this IA, there was one child who had done ingenious. So Madhvet spoke to the parents and the parents said that boy has a incompletion with ingenious. So I was thinking what incompletion could he have? Then he came to me and said, he only told me one thing. He told, see, that day you called me arrogant. You put me there and you call me arrogant. I was thinking, when did I call him arrogant? I have no idea. But if I tell him that, that's not going to be completion. Okay, the whole thing is each one cognizes something and comes up with a word. And we believe that word is true because we cognize like that. It's not the word is true, but we cognize like that. So what Madhvet told him, there were so many instances. Where this child, IA is a program here. If anybody is new who doesn't know IA, I'll just explain the word IA and ingenious. Ingenious is a 21-day program for the children. And IA is an inner awakening program for the adult. So this boy who had done ingenious, the child program before, now is attending the IA program. So when he's attending, he had a completion session. In that, he wanted to talk to Madhvet. So all he said was, Madhvet used a word arrogant to him. So Madhvet was wondering, when did Madhvet use? But saying that is not going to make him complete. That is Madhvet's cognition on his cognition. So Madhvet only pointed out what he is missing is, he missing the big picture, the whole picture. Madhvet said there were so many instances where you were upset. He was shocked. He thought Madhvit will say, no, Madhvit did not do anything. But Madhvit was telling him, there were so many other instances you were upset. Did you remember that? He was really shocked. He said, no, I don't remember. Madhvit told him, exactly. You are a child. Be in that space. There is nothing that you are taking from this cognition. You just want to pick up one card out of all the cards you are having. Just one card you are picking up. Is not telling you anything. You forgot the other 9 cards which you had and which you came out with, and you were complete with it, so you had dropped. And he was so shocked. There were so many other instances which he did not cognize. And that's all Madhvit told him. He was really shocked. He said, now I feel this cognition itself, there is no completion. I am just dropping it. He just dropped and went. He said, okay, there is nothing to talk then. He was completely, a space of a child is like that. Adult is different. We'll take all the 10 instances, make it into a new instant and then mix it up and then tell, you told me this on this date. You told me that on this date. You did this on this date. They'll have literally a list. But in a space of a child, nothing happens. It's just like one cognition comes like this in a plate. We have pasta, we have salad, we had some chocolate. The child has everything on the plate. What we did was, at one point of time in life, we took up the chocolate and said, chocolate is nice, yummy, so I will start taking chocolate. So again and again we went to the chocolate, forgetting the other instance in life. And then we start with the pattern of having the chocolate. Madhvit is giving you an analogy that we have on a plate of different things. A pasta, a salad and chocolate. So we start eating the chocolate and we say, wow, this is nice. So then we start again and again going back to the plate. We start eating chocolate. We forget there was pasta. We forget there is salad. And then finally land up in life becoming an identity of chocolate. But in case of a child, they pick up everything and anything they get. One day they are like this with this problem. Second day they are having another new problem. Third day they come up with the third new problem. And we are fed up. Why do you bring everyday new problem? We ask them. But be happy as far as the problem is new. Be very happy and glad. Every day you are into new problem. If it is the same old problem, understand they are becoming one like us. So we are grooming them into an adult space. So be very happy. They are like this and they are a difference. There is a difference which is happening. They are not consistent with their problem because they don't know who they are. And they don't want to figure out also. It's just that the society and us help them to become something. Because we cannot let them to be like that. A child, you can find out, for example, if they are very open, they'll start imitating one kind of behavior for some time. And after that, they will drop that. The teacher will say, no, he is behaving like this now, madam. He was behaving like that kid. Now he started behaving like this kid. It's so good if they are like that. They are very open. If they don't do that only, we get into adults' behavior. A child should start observing some behavior they like, maybe hitting. And after that, they will land up in shouting. They'll forget hitting. So new behavior starts happening. That itself is a sign they are very open for listening. They are very open to respond to life. That is the space they need to be. Very, very open. They need to be in the possibility space. Just absorbing a behavior and just coming out with that behavior. Not conditioning themselves again and again. Madhvit want to recap the whole thing about responsibility. First thing is the body. First thing is the body that we were talking. That is whether it is food or whether it is yoga, whatever they are interested in, let them take the body responsibility. Whether even pottery is equal to doing yoga, because anything to do with the body, let them get conscious of the being, the self. It's very beautiful when they do pottery actually. You don't have to force them only to yoga. So that is one thing. The food, try not to feed them. Let them take responsibility to whatever they eat. Let's not feed them today if they don't take responsibility. When they become adult and sitting on a couch in their own house, they are not going to take responsibility. They are going to go for oily dishes and all pizzas and all kind of things. If you want them to take responsibility, now is the time. Even though they don't eat for 1 week properly, it's okay. You can let them to be eating half meal, quarter meal, whatever. But let them start taking responsibility of their food. Only if you teach them now the responsibility, when they become adult, they will listen. If you don't teach them now below 14 years, it's very difficult. They'll become couch potato and then they have to go through so many things to understand their health, and they can become health conscious, and then they have to learn. Let them take responsibility of their body in terms of food and in terms of the action they do. But get them to a space where they like. See, if they're only going to eat pizza, if you give an option every day, make them understand what happens after that. Make them understand, show them videos, what happens to the obese people, how they miss their life and how many problems they have, and ask them, are you happy doing that? Are you authentic doing that? Show them the space where they miss authenticity and what happens if they eat vegetable, what happens if they have. And also parents need to follow that. If parents are not eating vegetable, surely the child is not going to eat. If you don't like broccoli and carrots, they are not going to like broccoli and carrot. You cannot force them to eat while you don't know, you don't want to eat. They're going to see you, oh, I don't like this. The word you utter becomes their world. So it's very important what words you say, especially in action. In front of them, telling, I don't like this, I prefer chocolate ice cream. They will also prefer. When did they learn? From you only they learned chocolate ice cream is better than vegetables. So, you take the responsibility now of eating and making chocolate ice cream with vegetables. Then they are going to have vegetables also part of their life. There are so many parents who like salads and other things. So the children also I have seen going for salads as first option. I will be shocked like, wow, no, my mama like fruit, I'll also like fruit. That's what simple they tell and go. So let them go for things which is healthy, which is natural, which is good. So it's very important when they respect to food and their body. Same thing, like if they like drawing, if they like pottery, if they like painting, and they don't want to do yoga, they want to sit and do these things, it is equally responsible. Because they are using their body to do the painting. The responsibility will trigger the brain to start more and more action in the body, and they will start liking. If they can do a painting, they are not going to have a shabby body. Surely they'll have a beautiful body. Because any art brings the integrity into the body. Any form of art is amazing integrity and authenticity that brings to us. So anything they do with the body is also equally, they start appreciating their body, that their body can do something, just not, eat and sleep. So if they start appreciating the body, slowly and slowly they start understanding they have to take responsibility of that body, because the body is only the source of making them more and more happy. So it's very important to give right understanding for the body. The second is the mind. Don't create attitude in their mind. Create a graceful space of what is their purpose, right understanding in their mind. Constantly give them right understanding that they are the source. Changing the inner space will change the outer space. Life positive. Where they are is life positive. Constantly life is going to make your life beautiful. There is no such thing as life negative. It's like saying sun is not there, darkness comes in. No, sun is not there, so the darkness is there. There is no darkness by itself. The sun is the beautiful space. Everybody loves only sun. Without the sun, they won't even appreciate the darkness. So it's very important we give the right understanding. They do not have identity. They have complete openness, the space. The third thing, the space, it should be very open. They should start behaving like other adults, other people. Yes, it will put us into a lot of trouble, but that is a better space than them carrying an attitude. Carrying themselves in an attitude and showing adult behavior is very wrong. And we have to correct that identity immediately. As young as 9 and 10-year-olds start carrying nowadays the attitude, and they should never get into the attitude space. So these are the three things they have to create the responsibility in a child. And the parent understand this and create this in a child. The child will be very, very responsible. Very simple definition of responsibility. Not even going into the high, spontaneous living and all that. Very simple definition. They have to take care of the body, the mind and the space. And they are responsible for that. We are not responsible. We are responsible for not destroying it. We should be very careful. They hold it very beautiful. They are very happy in their space. We should not destroy that. So that is what Madhvait want to tell.
The eN-Genius program is designed under the guidance of Paramahamsa Nithyananda. The eN-Genius program is a vaccination for higher intelligence, creating the space of possibilities. The physiological and psychological chemistry of the child changes, setting them up for peak performance in health, academics, communication, and leadership skills. The initiation received from the incarnation rewires their brain, enabling them to the peak of possibilities. You will see amazing differences in your child after they attend the eN-Genius program. You will be pleasantly surprised and ask, is this the same child? In just 21 days, your child is a new being expressing the highest possibilities and intelligence, dropping all violence and anger. The enormous potential inside them begins to manifest externally in all activities they do, and that is when parents start seeing the hidden talents of their children expressing as intelligence in its various forms. You will see the difference in health in case of sick children and also be surprised with the results of special needs children, creating a new avenue for them towards an improved lifestyle. The eN-Genius program is a leadership program that is a must for every child to move into the new civilization. For the first time, introducing you to you as a new possibility of tomorrow.